So even though God is totally sovereign and He is in control and predestined everything that happens, that everything is a tricky part because He can't possibly, and I don't think He wants to predestine or foreordain everything to the details. Obviously not. So from what I'm reading from Westminster, it is kind of clear to me so far that let me just read this. Although this is Westminster 5.2. Although in relation to the foreknowledge and decree of God, the first cause, all things come to pass immutably and infallibly. Immutably means unchangeably. Yet by the same providence, He orders them to occur according to the nature of second causes, either necessarily, freely, or contingently. This is very interesting. That actually makes me to be able to understand better, because the predestination part of it, the overall picture, God foreordained, nobody can change it. Nobody can even dream of changing that. But in between, there's called secondary causes. Okay, the primary cause is set by God. However, the secondary causes, it can be anything. It can be through human beings, for example. This is a very good example that, King Ahab died. Maybe I should not talk about King Ahab died because he refused to listen to the warning of the prophet Micaiah, who told King Ahab that he would die in battle. As Micaiah explained to those around him, the contingency of Ahab's death will be the means to establish either the truthfulness or the falsehood of Micaiah's claim to speak in God's name. That means if Ahab don't go to the war, he will not die. But if he goes to war and come back survive, that means Micaiah never prophesies. He's a liar. However, so important to understand that God definitely decreed how each of these three events will turn up. But He also decided the functioning of the solar system was necessary cause of the earth's light, and that man will be saved or lost by the choice of a city or refuge, and then Micaiah's integrity as a prophet will depend on Ahab's death. So no matter what, God's word will come to pass. Another example is Paul, Acts 27. Apostle Paul told those on board a sinking ship that they would be saved, provided they remain on board until the ship began to break up. But then they decided to swim or grab broken pieces if they were to make it to shore. And they told me, you see, the things God said, none of them will die. However, the free responsibility of humans is they wanted to go to swim. If they go to swim, they will die. But Paul said, don't swim. God told me that. So you see, God's predestination is one thing. They won't die. But that won't die is contingent or dependent upon those people do not jump into the ship to the sea to swim. That do not jump to the sea to swim is called secondary cause. That can change. If they jump, they will die. That means the prophecy wouldn't come to pass. But God already said none will perish. So you know what though? You know what? They will not jump. Because God will make sure they will not jump. So Paul went and convinced them, don't jump. If you jump, you will be killed. So he saved the whole thing. So it's called primary and secondary causes of the foreordination, foreordained and predestination. So that will really help us understand.